All right, everyone, right now, President Trump is heading to what has been dubbed the Winter White House, Mar-a-Lago, and the media is furious. The outrage. Take a look at this right now. This is the front page of the Washington Post. It's online right now, front and center. It's right now on the company's website. It says Trump's family's elaborate lifestyle is a logistical nightmare at taxpayer expense. The article criticizes the security and travel costs of President Trump and his family's on-the-go schedules. Now, the media completely forgetting, of course, that Trump's sons are pretty busy businessmen. They're running his company, and Trump himself never stops working, even at Mar-a-Lago. Plus, the liberal left is fanning the flames of the anti-Trump rhetoric. Of course, his family is going to need more security. Here to weigh in, former New York Lieutenant Governor Betsy McCaughey. Betsy, I mean, what are they suggesting? Are they suggesting that, you know, Americans are supposed to elect someone who doesn't have a family that is successful because then, you know, you get a smaller tab on security?
This just shows how biased the Washington media are. The Washington swamp people and the media weasels are trying to diminish this president when he's just taking office. And it's shocking. For example,
but for a stupid reason.
Yes,
I mean, to bring up
it is a very
security
stupid
costs.
story, and yet people will read it and say, why are we spending all this money? The previous first family spent $85 million on family vacations to Hawaii, to Martha's Vineyard, to Africa, to other places. And of course, they had plenty of security. They rented multi-million-dollar homes.
And where was the outrage then?
No self-restraint at all about the cost of it, and yet generated virtually no mainstream media coverage. Mrs. Obama took a trip herself to Morocco. Not only was it an expensive trip, but she gave away $450 million of taxpayer money to educate girls in Morocco. And I thought to myself when I first saw the story, why not educate girls in West Virginia, girls in inner city Chicago? If you're going to give that money away in the cause of educating young girls, let's start right here.
It just seems that, once again, you have this double standard, right, where the left gets away with a lot, the right can't get away with anything. In the case of Donald Trump, I just keep going back to this. I mean, look, this is just, unfortunately, the cost of doing business. Americans elected him. Americans hired him.
Yes.
He's got the spot. And, yeah, sorry, you're going to have a bigger tax bill, I guess, because he's got some kids that travel a lot and have been successful.
Unfortunately, this is only a small part of a much bigger picture of the danger of media bias. For example, you've seen so many newspapers, I have the New York Times today on my lap, diminishing, criticizing the president for not getting enough done his first 3 weeks in office. He staffed the White House. He appointed 12 cabinet members, all of whom except one so far are getting through, a far better record than President Obama had. He's appointed a Supreme Court justice. He's met with CEOs around the country and persuaded them to hire more here in America instead of building plants overseas. He has done so much in 3 weeks.
He's met with world leaders.
He's met with Theresa May from Great Britain, Benjamin Netanyahu from Israel, the Prime Minister of Japan, and accomplished a lot in those meetings. It's breathtaking what he's done in 3 weeks.
And yet, what does the New York Times say?
Well, here, meager gains for Republicans. Of course, they're also talking about Congress, but what's holding up Congress? Chuck Schumer. He's become an obstructionist. There's nothing in the whole article about that.
So
it's as if the Republicans aren't doing their job. They're ready to do the job. Cutting taxes, for example. Chuck Schumer says he is going to obstruct every single Republican legislative initiative. He has said it in front of the cameras.
But how much success are they really going to have with this? Because, you know, the numbers don't quite add up in their favor.
Yes, except unfortunately in the Senate because of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's adherence to Senate rules. Nothing in the Constitution about this, but the Senate Majority Leader has decided that the Republicans will need 60 votes, not 51 as the Constitution requires, but 60 votes to get most legislation through. And so Chuck Schumer does have it within his power to hold things up, and that's what he's doing.
How does Trump break through this?
Well, he broke through it very well yesterday in that press conference, and Americans applauded him. Here is a man who is blunt, who is sincere, is pro-American, and he looked out at the media and made fun of them and had a good time doing it.
You know, we've been talking about it, and your average American probably wasn't that interested in a presidential press conference until now, right? I mean, it was entertaining. It was a terrific show, and he came out swinging.
Yes,
he really did. Does he need to do more of this, Betsy?
I think so.
Would you say, you know, enough with Sean Spicer can only do so much. You need the guy himself.
Wetting their pants, the more I say Donald Trump should be out there doing it.